Mathematics was never my strong suit, but I think the formula for quicker lap times is pretty straightforward. Hey guys, Bad Driver here, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be comparing the lap times and general driving experience between a direct drive wheel, the CSL DD, and an Xbox Series controller. This is a follow-up to my previous video that I did, link is in the video description, where I did this same comparison for gravel rally driving. I decided to break this up into separate videos because the rally driving style, particularly for loose surfaces, is very different to the tarmac circuit driving style, so I suspect that the latter is going to benefit from the wheel more than the former. I've picked Assetto Corsa to do this test in, as it seems to be regarded as the gold standard, or at least a top shelf pick for this type of sim. I'll be driving the Mazda MX-5 Cup car at Donington. Okay, let's do it. Right off the bat, I have to give credit where credit is due for just how good the driving and force feedback in Assetto Corsa is. It drives like a dream, and I found it to be quite easy to lose hours of my day to it just because of how enjoyable it is. To tell the truth, I haven't outright disliked the driving experience of any of the major sims, nor am I suggesting that Assetto Corsa is the most advanced, but I think that it feels the most natural to me. Slides and loss of traction are communicated in a way that I was able to pick up really easily, and you can tell when the brakes are on the verge of locking up. I will say the curbs do seem to upset the car excessively compared to some other sims, though I don't really know if that's realistic or not. Ultimately, the more natural that these things feel, the more you can concentrate on taking the right lines, balancing your throttle through the corners, and getting those braking zones right, which are all strong points for driving on the wheel, because smooth inputs are the name of the game. Don't upset the car, and your lap times will reward you for it. The wheel gives you a great ability to nail the basic out-in-out racing line, because you can make those micro adjustments as you're entering and exiting the corner without making the car wish it had never come off the factory line, which is what I imagine the cars tend to feel by the time I'm done with them. Okay, so crossing over the line here, the best lap of my session with the wheel is a 119.3.
Wow!
Alright, no need to be sarcastic. It does beg the question though, can I match that with the controller?
Apparently not.
Well, I'm certainly not one to contradict Mr. Ollivander himself, so no. I don't have a hope in hell of driving as fast with a controller. But why? I think it's mostly an issue of consistency. To start with, the default controller profile for Assetto Corsa feels pretty bad. The steering is just way too twitchy. It does give you a number of sliders that you can play around with to dial this in, and you can find presets online as well, but I found I couldn't get it feeling great. Maybe there's a mod that improves the joystick feel, but the point is that the wheel needs no such special attention to feel right. I also found that compared to the load cell pedal, it was difficult to avoid locking up the brakes on the straight before the final turn. But what this all adds up to is that whenever I managed to take a corner quickly, it felt like a fluke because I'd struggled to replicate it the following lap. It also means that whenever I had a fast sector, it was usually bookended by two slow ones. So stringing together a single lap where you don't majorly screw up at least one corner proved to be quite a task. The lap that you're seeing here was my fastest effort, and after nearly an hour of trying, I only managed to come in at over 8/10 off of my wheel lap time. Not exactly what I'd call competitive.
It's time to stop!
It certainly is, but not before I do a few more laps with the wheel.
Yeah.
Yes, it's time to stop!
Now look, I might be guilty of making things look more dire for the controller than they actually are, so let's go over the Coulthard numbers. In Dirt Rally 2, my stage time was a 256.6 with the controller and a 255.3 with the wheel, which is a 0.73% improvement. Not exactly earth-shattering, but hey, that's
Marginal gains.
In Assetto Corsa, my lap time was a 120.13 with the controller, and after that second run, a 118.9 with the wheel, which is a 1.44% improvement, nearly double the gap seen in the rallying. And keep in mind, it took me less than half the total session time to set my wheel lap than it did with the controller, and I was significantly more consistent and had less spills along the way. So with that in mind, if you're stuck on a controller and you've been on the fence about getting a wheel for tarmac racing, I really can't recommend it enough, and I would go as far as to say that it's a transformative difference. It's way more fun, and it's very likely to make you a quicker, more consistent driver once you've adjusted to it and dialed in the settings. Of course, I'm no stranger to the cost of living crisis, and these things aren't trivially cheap for most folks. Fortunately, as of the time of writing, the Boxing Day sales are right around the corner, so do yourself a favour and pick up a discounted wheel and pedal combo, grab a wheel mount for it, and don't look back. You won't regret it. Well, that's the end of the video, but before I go, I just wanted to thank everyone for leaving such kind comments on my previous video. Being a new channel, I really didn't know how it was going to go or how it would be received, or if anyone was even going to click on it. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed it, so thanks again for all the comments, likes, and all the new subscribers. Now that I've done these two tests, I'm going to branch out into some actual racing content, which will be on the way soon. You have my personal guarantee that there will be some bad driving abound, so stay tuned for that. Until next time, peace.